Welcome to Zoe Stories, the hidden reason they turned me into a girl. My name is Jake, a 19-year-old college student trying to navigate the usual ups and downs of young adulthood. I've always been the quiet, introspective type, more at home with a book or a sketch pad than in the hustle of social life. Growing up in a small, conservative town, I never quite fit in. There was always this lingering feeling that I was searching for something more, something that set me apart from the norm. This summer was supposed to be a break from all that, a chance to recharge before another year of classes. But everything changed when I received a letter from my Aunt Clara. She was a distant figure, one I barely knew, and her invitation to spend the summer at her secluded estate was unexpected. "There's something important I need to share with you," she wrote, her words cryptic yet compelling. I couldn't ignore the pull of curiosity, though a part of me hesitated. What could be so urgent? And why now? The stakes felt higher than just a simple visit. It felt like the answer to a question I hadn't even dared to ask. Little did I know, accepting her invitation would unravel a mystery that went far deeper than I ever imagined, one that would challenge everything I thought I knew about myself. The moment I stepped into Aunt Clara's sprawling estate, I felt an unease settle over me. It wasn't just the size of the house or the eerie quiet that enveloped the place. It was something deeper, a sensation that I was on the brink of discovering something life-altering. Aunt Clara greeted me with a warm but knowing smile, her eyes twinkling with a secret she was about to reveal. "Jake," she began softly, guiding me to a seat in her grand, sunlit parlor. "There's a reason I asked you here. Our family has a legacy, one that has been hidden for generations. Now, it's your turn to embrace it." Her words sent a chill down my spine. She handed me an old, leather-bound journal. Flipping through its worn pages, I saw sketches of people, men and women, changing, their appearances blending and shifting. The realization hit me like a thunderbolt. She was talking about a transformation, a literal change in identity. I stared at her, the weight of her words crashing down on me. "You want me to become a girl?" My voice trembled with disbelief. Aunt Clara nodded. "It's not just about becoming a girl, Jake. It's about embracing who you truly are, who you were meant to be." Panic surged through me. I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't even sure I wanted this. My mind raced with fears. What would my friends think? My family? How could I possibly face the world with a new identity? But beneath the fear, there was a flicker of something else. Curiosity, a whisper of possibility that maybe, just maybe, this could be the answer to the restlessness I'd always felt. I wrestled with the choice laid before me, my thoughts a whirlwind of doubt and hope. Could I take this leap into the unknown, risking everything for a chance to discover my true self? Or would I cling to the familiar, safe but unfulfilled? The stakes had never felt higher, and my heart ached with the weight of the decision. For days, I wandered the halls of Aunt Clara's estate, my mind a battlefield of conflicting emotions. Each room seemed to whisper secrets, the very walls pressing in on me with the weight of what I had to decide. The journal remained tucked under my arm, its pages filled with the stories of those who had come before me, each one a testament to transformation, to embracing a new identity. But could I really follow in their footsteps? I tried to confide in my best friend, Lisa, over the phone, hoping for some clarity. "Jake, are you serious?" she asked, her voice a mix of disbelief and concern. This is huge. Are you sure you're ready for something like this?" "I don't know," I admitted, pacing the length of the room. "It's not just about changing. It's about finding out who I really am. But it's terrifying, Lisa. What if I'm making a mistake?" She was silent for a moment, then replied softly, "You've always been searching for something, Jake. Maybe this is it. But you have to be sure, for your own sake." Her words lingered long after we hung up, but they didn't ease the turmoil inside me. Nights were the hardest, the darkness amplifying every fear. What if I lost myself completely? What if people rejected me? I stared at my reflection in the mirror, trying to imagine what it would be like to see someone else staring back, someone new yet somehow still me. One afternoon, Aunt Clara found me sitting in the garden, the journal open on my lap. "Still unsure?" she asked, her voice gentle but probing. I'm scared, I confessed. What if I can't handle it? What if I'm not strong enough? You are stronger than you know, she said, placing a hand on my shoulder. Strength comes from embracing who you are, not hiding from it. As her words sank in, a new kind of tension arose, an internal battle between fear and the desire to uncover my true self. The conflict was no longer just about whether I should do this, but whether I could live with myself if I didn't. That evening, I stood at the door to Aunt Clara's study, the journal clutched in my hands, my heart pounding. The decision loomed over me like a storm, and I knew that once I crossed this threshold, there would be no turning back. Taking a deep breath, I raised my hand to knock, my fate hanging in the balance. Standing outside Aunt Clara's study, I felt every fiber of my being tense with uncertainty. My hand hovered over the door, trembling slightly. This moment was the culmination of all the doubts, fears, and whispers of possibility that had plagued me since I arrived. The weight of my decision pressed down on me, almost suffocating in its intensity. I could turn away now, walk back down the hall, pack my things, and leave this strange chapter behind. But the thought of returning to my old life, filled with the same questions and restlessness, felt like a hollow victory. Deep down, I knew that if I walked away, I'd always wonder, what if? Closing my eyes, I took a deep breath and let my thoughts race through the possible consequences. My friends might not understand. My family could turn their backs on me. Society, with all its expectations and judgments, loomed like a specter. But then, there was the other side, the chance to finally understand myself, to find peace in an identity that had always felt just out of reach. Resolving to face whatever came next, I knocked on the door. Aunt Clara's voice called me in, steady and reassuring. As I stepped into the room, my heart thudded in my chest, knowing I had just set a course that would change my life forever. The room was dimly lit, filled with an air of quiet anticipation as Aunt Clara guided me to a chair in the center. The walls were lined with shelves of old books, vials, and mysterious artifacts. The atmosphere was thick with the scent of lavender and something else, something ancient and powerful. I sat down, my heart pounding in my chest, my mind a whirlwind of anticipation and fear. Aunt Clara stood before me, holding a small vial of shimmering liquid. "This is the first step," she said, her voice soothing yet firm. "It will start the transformation. Are you ready?" I nodded, though my body felt like it was moving through molasses. As I took the vial from her, the glass felt cool against my palm. I uncorked it, and the scent of roses and something metallic wafted up. With a deep breath, I tipped the vial back and swallowed the liquid. It was surprisingly sweet, like honey mixed with a hint of mint, but it left a strange tingling sensation as it slid down my throat. Almost immediately, I felt a warmth spreading through my body, starting from my core and radiating outward. My skin prickled, as if tiny sparks were dancing across it. My muscles felt both heavy and light, as though they were shifting beneath the surface. I closed my eyes, focusing on the sensations, my breath quickening with the intensity of the changes. The warmth intensified, and I could feel my bones, my very structure, adjusting subtly. My hands, once rough and calloused, became smoother, my fingers more slender. My face tingled, the contours softening, reshaping into something new yet familiar. Every sensation was heightened, my skin more sensitive, my hair brushing against my neck like silk. Opening my eyes, I caught my reflection in the mirror across the room. I barely recognized the person staring back. My features were softer, my eyes larger and more expressive. My body had begun to take on a different silhouette, the curves more pronounced, my frame more delicate. It was me, but not me, a version of myself I had never dared to imagine. Aunt Clara watched me with a gentle smile. "The transformation isn't just physical, Jake. It's about embracing who you are inside, as well." Her words echoed in my mind as I continued to feel the changes ripple through me. Internally, I wrestled with a cocktail of emotions, relief, fear, excitement, and the faintest hint of acceptance. I was on the brink of something extraordinary, something that would redefine my very existence. And though the road ahead was uncertain, I could feel a sense of growth taking root, a newfound strength emerging from within. The transformation complete, I stood before the mirror in Aunt Clara's study, heart racing as I confronted my new reality. The reflection staring back was both strange and mesmerizing. I saw myself not as Jake, but as someone reborn, someone freer. My long, dark hair cascaded over my shoulders, framing a face that held a delicate beauty. My body, now curvier and softer, was adorned in flowing, feminine attire that clung to my new form. Aunt Clara's voice broke the silence, gentle but firm. "This is who you've always been inside, Jake. What you see now is simply the outward expression of it." Tears welled up in my eyes, a mix of joy and sorrow. I had always felt out of place, always searching for something I couldn't name. And now, here it was, staring back at me. The weight of this realization crashed over me, bringing with it a tidal wave of emotions. Relief, acceptance, fear of the unknown, all swirling within me. But then, there was a knock at the door, sharp and sudden, cutting through the moment like a blade. My heart leapt to my throat as Aunt Clara turned, her expression shifting to one of concern. "Stay here," she whispered, moving to the door. As she opened it, I caught a glimpse of a man in a dark suit, his face stern and unreadable. Their voices were hushed, but the tension in the air was palpable. My mind raced. Who was he? What did he want? Then Aunt Clara's voice rose, firm and unyielding. "She's not ready for this. You can't take her yet." Panic flared within me.
Who were they talking about? Me?
The man's reply was calm, but filled with authority. "It's time. She has to face what's coming." The words hung heavy in the air, and I realized that my journey wasn't just about discovering myself. It was about facing a challenge far greater than I had ever anticipated. A new wave of determination surged through me. I wasn't just Jake anymore. I was ready to confront whatever lay ahead, as the person I was truly meant to be. As the man in the suit left, Aunt Clara returned to my side, her expression softening as she placed a comforting hand on my shoulder. I took a deep breath, steadying myself, and turned back to the mirror. The person staring back was no longer a mystery, but a revelation. I was no longer bound by the confines of who I thought I had to be. I was free. In the days that followed, I began to understand the depth of my transformation. It wasn't just about the physical changes. It was about embracing my true self. I learned to walk with confidence, to speak with a voice that resonated with authenticity. The fear that once clung to me like a shadow had begun to fade, replaced by a quiet strength. My family and friends were shocked at first, some even resistant. But as they saw the happiness and peace I had found, many came around, their support growing stronger with each passing day. Aunt Clara, ever my guide, stood by me through every challenge, her wisdom a beacon in my journey. I reflected on what this transformation meant, not just for me, but for the way I would navigate the world from now on. It wasn't just about becoming someone new, it was about revealing the person I had always been. As I stood on the threshold of this new chapter, I knew there would be more challenges ahead, more moments of doubt and discovery. But for the first time in my life, I felt ready to face them head-on. This was just the beginning of a story that would unfold in ways I had yet to imagine. And as I stepped forward, I carried with me the unshakable belief that I had found my true self, and that was a power no one could take away. Thank you for joining us on another captivating journey through Zoe's stories. Remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale. Until next time, keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep believing in the magic of storytelling. See you in the next chapter.